So these are two teams that could see each other again later in the year. What are you thinking? But I'm not asking for your score yet. What are some of your thoughts about this matchup coming up this week?
My biggest thought is right now the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing very similar style. They're not blowing people out. They're sometimes having struggles. You look at their running game. Etienne might be gaining, like last game, he had 2 touchdowns, but he only gained 50 yards. Trevor Lawrence was not putting up huge high passing numbers. They're doing kind of like the Steelers, do it, although what they're doing is jumping out early and then holding on. Versus the Steelers, who are trying to stay close and then win it in the end. But I think they're very, very similar in how they're getting it done right now. So there's a chance it could be another really good nail biter close game. Has the chance.
Yeah, and to me, I think that the Jaguars, especially if you asked this question 2 weeks ago, I would say they're not serious contenders yet. They're a team. Now they've won, I think, 4 in a row now. These two teams have something in common, and that is their last loss was a bad loss to the Houston Texans. Both these teams, that was their last loss, and it was not really in much of a close game. So Jacksonville, there's so much. They're one of the many teams in the NFL where you can say, you know what? They could come out and kick you in the teeth. Or, you know what? They're beatable. They're beatable. Yeah. You can say that about almost any team right now. It really is how it goes. So the question is not which Pittsburgh Steelers team is going to show up. The question is, how early in the game can the Steelers, particularly their offense, get going? Yep. Can the defense start strong? Can the defense start strong from the very beginning? And at what point will the offense get going? I will say one thing real quick. I know we need to get going, but one thing from Coach Thomas' press conference today. He was asked about scripted plays and if they script them and blah, blah, blah. And he said, yes, we script them. We're not married to the script. Situations change the script. But the point of the script is there are certain things you want to do early in the game to give a certain look or do a certain personnel to see what they do. So you can recognize how to utilize that later in the game. So if the Steelers are taking too much time at the beginning to figure out or to give looks to see what they're doing and then adjusting and then it working well, I like that they're adjusting and having it work well later, but hopefully they can get it started and maybe have those initial looks be a little bit more successful early on is really what I think it really needs to come to. So, Rich, all right, we got to get going. We've hit an hour and we haven't started this yet, so we are going to fly through this. What do you have for your score for Sunday against the Jaguars?
All right, I'm going all bad. I'm going to continue on with my trend. I expect this game to probably be really close, and it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I would not be surprised for this game to be the Jacksonville get out early and trying to hold on at the end. I am going to go. I reserve the right to change mine for the staff article as usual this week. I like to state that when I feel like there's a chance I might. I'm going with 20-19 Jaguars.
You're saying 20-19 Jaguars. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to put it out there for everyone else to put theirs in there. Here's my thing. I'm going to give you a little bit of thoughts.
I think I saw somebody in the live chat earlier say if we can score 20, we win. Yep. Yeah. And my worry is we come up just short of that, and it's not quite enough.
So far, the Steelers, when the games are close, they've won. When the game or when they lose, it's because they're getting blown out. They're kind of due for that game where I thought it was going to be the Houston game where they were losing by a good bit, fight their way close, but just not close enough. Thinking of that Minnesota game 2 years ago where they were down on Thursday night when they were down by a bunch and just couldn't complete the comeback. I could see a game like that with Jacksonville. I will say this. we were in the Steelers quote unquote second quarter of the season because the bye was early. I counted 5 games as the first quarter because you had to throw an extra one in somewhere. In these 4 games, the Rams, the Jaguars, followed by the Titans and the Packers, this is the best team the Steelers face, in my opinion. So you got to remember that. So here we go. People are ready to go. I've got to scroll back and find them. My goodness. Okay, we even got one in the middle. Outside Steeler fan almost didn't get it in there because they hadn't all showed up, because our live chat shows everything. It shows where it goes out on Twitter, on YouTube, actually it's not on Twitter, but on both YouTube channels that we're on and both Facebook channels we're on, SCNs and FFSNs. But outside Steeler fan says, good guys, 17, Jaguars 14. Remember, if you put just a score, we're going to assume you mean Steelers. Steel Dog 88 said 21-20 Steelers, going to be scrappy. Mr. Woodside says Steelers 24-13. Steeler Chick 46 says maybe Steelers 21, Jaguars 17. Brian Brown says 27-16 Steelers. Wes has it with 23-13 Blitzburg. He thinks they're going to get a lot of sacks. That would be really nice. Afton says 21-20 good guys. Tyler asked this. Was last week our first week scoring 20 as an offense? I do believe that is true.
I do believe that's true.
Yes. So, I mean, they had 2 offensive touchdowns in a game, but this week they had 3, That was definitely the most they had there. Although one of them was set up in the short field by the defense because it's what they do. Harvey Stone says Steelers 24, Jaguars 16. David Poe must be not really a Steelers fan. Yeah, there's someone on the post-game show that likes to comment and says Brian isn't a real Steelers fan because he doesn't pick the Steelers every single game. Okay, get informed. All right. David Poe says 20-16 Jags. Okay, doesn't mean you're not rooting for the Steelers. But sometimes you're like, hey, if they're going to stumble at some point, this could be it. Where are we at? Pittsburgh Toddy, 86, says 21-20 Steelers. Are we missing our guy tonight? I didn't see him. Are we missing Thomas Riley? Right?
I have not seen him.
I haven't seen him in there. Oh, I'm kind of bummed.
I almost gave a score. I almost went with a 19-19 tie.
Okay. Yeah. Steelers Freak says the Steelers finally get the 30 burger. He's going 30-17. And you know what, Steelers Freak, you might be crazy, but you're a freak, so it's okay. You're coming off an exciting game in stadium, so you're allowed to be that way. George OTJ has 26-23 Steelers. Tyler wants to know if Tomlin's ever played Trevor. I don't think so, because I don't think they played the Jags in a couple years. Jeremiah Yoder says 23-17 Steelers. Jerry Cherryman says TJ Watt 26-24.
Are we talking the regular TJ or the miniature TJ?
Yeah, the miniature. Steelers.
We're talking the regular
20-17 Steelers. This is a name I don't remember seeing before. Mark John Holmes says Jacksonville 16, Steelers 22. Okay. Sherry Richards getting hers in there of 27-23 Steelers. Corey S. says 26-24 Steelers. Tyler W. says it's taking a while to come up. Jaguars 28, Steelers 24. Oh, that means you're not a real Steelers. Just kidding, Tyler. Just kidding. Yeah, I hope you can get my tongue-in-cheek kind of jokes there. Mark Tobin says 25-17 Jags. And everything just skipped on me. Claude Bishop, 20-13 Black and Gold. Here we go. Brian Brown. Wait. Oh, I thought that was a score because I saw the hyphen, but he's like 15-2 is still on the table. Tom Vallejo says 27-10 Jags. He's okay. Says about the Steelers need to score early. How do I say this one? We'll just say Rands. Okay. Says 27 Steelers 27, Jags 24. Do you see another one? Oh, there we go. Richard Adamson.
Yes.
Says 23-18 Steelers. Says, thank you very much for thinking we're a great show tonight. Ruben Stone says 27-17 Steelers.
That's the last
I think
one.
That's all I got so far.
Yes.
Whew, Rich, I'm excited for this one. Like I said, I think this is the Steelers, even though it's at home. And see, and the Rams aren't shabby. And the Steelers had to go on the road. They had to go on the West Coast. to do that. Or like you said, I use that one a lot. Left coast.
Got a
did I miss
couple
one?
extras. You had like 3 or 4 come rolling in here all of a sudden.
Okay, who was the last one that I had? Ruben Stone. So, because I think I got no one, he says 28-16 Jaguars. Mark John already got his, I do believe. Oh no, he had a Brown Seahawks.
It's a different game. Yeah.
yeah, we're not doing that one. Gavin Anthony says 27-24 Steelers. Insurance Man. Steelers 17, Jaguars 7. Oh, that would be an interesting game. Afton says we did play Jacksonville in 22. Did Trevor Lawrence play in that game? I can't remember. You know what? I have to look that up for Stat Geek, so I'll know it Thursday morning. So check that one out. George Pack the Man?
Yep, go with it.
19-6 Steelers. Nathan Smith got his in here with 27-17 Steelers. And I think that's it for now. So this is if the Steelers don't win this game, the sky is not falling. But part of that depends on how this game plays out.
Yeah. Yes.
Jacksonville is a worthy opponent. I think even if the Steelers lose this game in a close one, but it's different if they lose in a close one where it's back and forth and it just doesn't go right at their way at the end versus if they're getting blown out and claw back and come up just short. There's so many different ways it could play out. But honestly, if the Steelers, I like where their schedules. Afton says,
I like the way you think, Afton.
Yeah.
She says, pray for pigeons.
Yes.
He's not yet had a pigeon sighting at Acrisure this year. We need the pigeons.
So the big thing is if it's how the Steelers are going to roll after this game based on the result of this game. They got a short week, all that other stuff. So this one is not, yes, you want to win your conference games and everything else. But as I said, this is one of the tougher games. This is one of the tougher games they have left until they have to go to Ohio in back-to-back weeks. So, but the Steelers start 3 home games in a row. This is the first one of the 3. If they can go 2-1 in that stretch, that's pretty good. So if you can get it with this one, that means you're setting yourself up even better. Make sure you're checking out all our podcasts. We've got the same lineup this week. Things will change up next week because of the short week. And how things will roll there. But we're not looking that far ahead. We want to stay like the Steelers and stay focused